Okay, hello. Today we're going to actually just go over this project in regards to how to process clearance um, files and clearance products. So what we want to do is we want to start with just unzipping our image folder. It'll take a second to do that. Once our images have been unzipped, we will go inside that folder and we will actually create a processing folder. Okay, name this process. Now what we want to do is we want to copy all the actual item photographs and exclude the actual price tags. Or we're actually going to just move these into the processing folder so we don't have to copy them. Okay, hold down the shift, select multiple files. And drag these images into the process folder. Okay, here's one more item there. Scanning around and I don't see any more furniture images. Go inside our folder and I don't see any price tags, so that's good. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to process these image names so that we get them ready to go into a website inside of MySQL. So we're going to launch PowerShell. Clear the screen, change the directory with CD space, come in and get our actual folder that we want to go into. Control C there. Right click inside PowerShell, hit enter, and we have changed our directory. And I just cleared the screen because it helps me stay a little bit more mentally organized. Okay, so now once we have actually opened PowerShell and navigated to our folder, what we want to do is we want to rename all of the images using PowerShell and use the pre-written script that I've already written for you. That pre-written script is going to be inside your clearance template spreadsheet. And at the very bottom, your tabs, you see image scripts. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just copy this that's already here, Control C. I'm going to launch my programmer's notepad just so I can make any slight edits if need be. Again, just a brief reminder, what this does is this command up here says to replace all the commas with basically a deletion. This second command says replace all the spaces with a dash. And this third command right here says that anything that's named photo May needs to be replaced with this new file name that we're going to give it. And today's date is May the 12th, so I'm going to change this from May the 9th to May the 12th. So it helps me stay a little bit more accurate. Also, because the previous command replaces the space with the dash, so by the time it executes this command, it'll be a dash as opposed to a space. Okay, and again, all we're doing is we're using PowerShell, the script that's pre-written here, to actually rename all the images that's in the processing folder. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to actually copy this, drag and select, Control C, Alt Tab over to PowerShell, and I'm going to right click. You can see it goes down through the list and it executes the commands. And now you can see that our actual file names have been updated to our new naming convention. We can right click, come down to details so that we can actually get a better view of making sure that all of our file names have been named correctly. It got rid of the commas, it got rid of the spaces, and it actually gave us a relevant in regards to what the product image actually is. Okay, our next step. What we want to do is we want to begin opening our spreadsheet and get it ready for data processing. Go back to our clearance template. And I'm going to start right about here, right below. So right below all of the data that we already have in here to actually use as our guide to make sure that we keep our data nice and clean and tidy. Okay, so our template is open. We want to come back over here to grab the original data from the retailer. It's going to take a second to open up. And all I want to do now is just select all of the data that they sent us. Control C copy, Alt tab over, and I'm going to paste this into our template. Okay, now that's in our template, I'm going to try to align it to make sure that our manufacturers are aligned with the previous data set. Again, that style numbers are aligned and the actual item numbers are aligned. At this point, what we want to do is we want to come over and we want to grab or list our images so that we can copy the list into. Control C, copy the path, and we're going to open up DOS now, MS-DOS. And I'm going to CLS, clear the screen, and then I'm going to change the directory, right click, and that actually pastes our path into there. Okay, clear the screen again, so let's keep it nice and simple for me and organized mentally. And also, we are done with PowerShell, so let's go ahead and close that. At this point, all we have to do is type dir space /b, and you see that we get our list of image names that we now have in our processing folder. Drag over all that, it inverts, highlights to select, and we just push the enter key. That pastes it on our clipboard, and so now we can go back over to our template, and we're just going to paste our list of images here to align with the images that they have listed over here. So I'm going to move this down a little bit so we do a better job of getting our alignment. Again, notice that under the image we have they have listed 1:16:14. Over here to the left, our actual list, we have 1:16:14, so that aligns perfectly. All the following also aligns. Again, 1:16:40 matches over here with 1:16:40, all the way down. Over here we get kind of sort of a bump in the road, which means that they have an extra image in here. See where it's no longer aligning 1:20:49, it says 1:21:07. That's because they've actually placed an additional alternate image over here. All right, to keep everything in alignment, what we need to do is just drag this up one and to the left, and then we want to actually pull the rest of this data up one row. So keep it filled up so it's actually filling up appropriately. Okay, so we're back on track. You see how this says 1:21:07, 1:21:07. It's going to keep going down like that, 25:37, 25:37, until we get down to our alternate image, which is going to give us another little bump in the road. So see how this does not align, so we just need to pull, this says 135.55, 135.55 over here in the alternate. So we just move it up one and to the left. And basically, we just keep processing this list as such. Okay. And continue eyeballing to make sure we're staying on track. 12.01.37, 12.01.37. Okay. And our last alternate image over here. Okay, we want to Control S. We want to save our work. Okay, and it looks like we're all set up and all of our style numbers are actually matching our image numbers. Or not style numbers, our image numbers that our retailers listed over here are matching up with the file names with the same numbers inside of it. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually scroll back up to get our official web development headers, column headers. I'm just going to right click, copy, and paste this down here to make it easy for us as we continue to process this data and it gets handed off. Okay, to our web development, our people who are actually importing this data into the MySQL code, the PHP and MySQL code. All right, at this point, what we want to do is we are going to move into our item number or style number. We want to make sure that we get rid of any slashes or ampersands or quote marks or apostrophes, any strange characters. So first things first, we're just going to select this whole entire column and say Control F, defined. We're going to type / and we're going to say replace this with a dash. And just click replace all. So you can see where it actually shows there were 5 slashes in there. And so we replaced it with a dash. And we want to look for any other strange characters or marks. And so what we have is we have an image mark here. We're going to select the whole column, Control F. We want to replace all, and we're going to just replace this with nothing. So essentially we're deleting all of the actual inch marks that are inside that. Okay, so just found one. We want to look to see if there's anything else in there that looks like we might need to delete. We don't see any ampersands, so we don't have to find and replace those. Okay, at this point, what we want to do is we want to move into our item types column. And basically, we're doing the same thing. We're cleaning that column of any kind of bad characters such as slashes, ampersands, inches, apostrophes, etc. So let's look for our slashes. Sees a slash here, we want to replace this with just a space. So I found 2 of those. Also, as we're looking inside of our item type, we want to make sure that the item types typically should stay clean, so it should not have any style number in it. So we're actually going to just remove, just Control X, cut this, and paste it into the column right to the next, to the right of it, into the description. You can see where descriptions usually carry like the color of an item, the finish, or any other kind of sort of like fabric material that would be listed in the description column. So we continue to come down through here and looking for, again, any kind of sort of bad characters, which is here is an inch mark, and so are these two down here. So I'm going to, for our item type, we don't actually delete that. We're going to replace the inch mark with the actual word inch. And put a space in front and behind it just so that it'll be spaced out correctly when it's typed out. All, it found 4 of those. Okay. And looking for any other things. Let's see if we see an ampersand in there. Control F. Look for ampersands. If you do find an ampersand, we want it to replace with a space, AND, space, and tell it to replace. Did not find any, so that's fine. Again, just glancing over this, we can see there's probably extra spaces in here. So I'm going to Control F again, and I want to replace anything with 2 spaces with 1 space. So we are getting rid of our extra spaces. We'll tell it to do that again, and do it again. Okay, so all of our extra spaces should now be removed from our item type column. Okay, in our description column, it's okay if we have, as far as characters that are not the normal letters and numbers, but for our item type, we don't want anything that's not either a number or a letter. Okay, so we're done processing the item type, and the description is pretty much done here. We don't have anything else we need to do to that, but we do need to move our pricing over to the appropriate columns. And so we're just going to simply drag over these 2 columns, or highlight it, hold down the Shift and click, and then we just drag it to the retail and selling column, so that it actually, again, we're aligning with the data that's already been in this this template. Control S to save. And now what we want to do, this is pretty much a judgment call in regards to, we're going to place each item into a room. Your room categories tab down here will give you, as far as all of your selections. So you can just copy it from this tab and copy it into the data process at the top. And we'll process this list, these top items last. We're just putting it in here at the top so that it actually makes it a little easier for us to auto-enter any of the rooms that we're processing. So the first things first over here is we have a cocktail table. So I'm just going to type an L, and you can see where it auto fills in with living room. The chest is typically a bedroom. Nightstand is going to be a bedroom. Chest, again, bedroom. Etage is going to be home office. Credenza is typically going to be home office or bedroom, or a kitchen. To be sure, what you can do is just tap over and copy the actual image name, and then Alt tab over to your folder directory and just tell it to actually show you, search for it, and look to see, okay, this looks like it could be like an entertainment console, or it could be like a sideboard or buffet in a dining room, or it could be even like basically a chest for a bedroom. So that's really a judgment call. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into the living room. Okay. And let's go back over. Let's see what we have. The lamp table is going to be a living room. Console is typically going to be a living room. Buffet is going to be a dining room. Mirror is going to be a bedroom. The lamp table is typically going to be a living room, lounge chair. I think that's probably going to be a living room, but if there's any doubt, you can always, again, just come over here and copy the actual item name and just do a quick browse, glance at it to see. It's definitely going to be a living room. So we'll put that back over here into the living room. Let's see, we're at the credenza. I'm going to say that's a living room. Desk, that's definitely going to be a home office. Bar cabinet is going to be a dining room. Cocktail table, living room. Chest, bedroom. Chair side table is going to be a living room, and so forth. So let's just see what kind of progress we're making down here. Okay, so we're getting pretty close to the end. Console, let's say a living room. Dining table, living room. Dining table. So these will be outdoor items. Outdoor, outdoor. Cilio Cadenza, kind of a question here, so I'm just going to copy this and go over here and glance in the, that's definitely going to be a living room. Okay, outdoor, outdoor, outdoor. And living room. Okay, don't forget, now at the top, we need to make sure that we finish this because we really just put the top in here as a template so it would autofill. So what we have over here is a side table. That's going to be a living room. Cocktail table is a living room. Chair side, same. We're going to say that's a living room. Work table is going to be a home office. Door buffet is going to be a dining room. And lounge and canopy, that looks like it's going to be an outdoor. We can take a quick look. Yep, it's outdoor. So again, this is more like just a judgment call in regards to what room you want to place each one of these items into. And for our last column, all we have to do is just copy not sold all the way down in the notes. And that's it. Another, just another kind of sort of a data management note. Far in it says product dimensions or prod underscore DIN. That's typically if a retailer gives us dimensions. They did not with this folder. They usually don't, but if we do get product dimensions, this is the actual column that it would go into. So at this point, we're actually done with this specific processing of the data. Again, you typically just want to glance over it and make sure that you've aligned all the data with the previous things that have been entered. And so we see manufacturers here, style numbers here, item types, details, pricing, in these two columns, the rooms, and then the not sold. So at this point, what you would do is you just say, come to File, Save As, Browse, and you're going to place it in here. You say Project Complete. And you can put the date, 5/1/2/2022. Enter and done. Easy peasy. Okay, last but not least is we actually do need to process those images so that we get them formatted down to the proper size. So what we need to do is we need to create a folder inside of our image process folder. We call it 1024 because that's going to be the dimensions that we create. And we're just going to copy this path here, and we're going to open FastStone. And with FastStone, all we have to do, again, is just paste our path to the images. I'm going to hit enter so you can see all the images that we've created here and also the folder that we created. Clear this item if it has anything over there. And for the output folder, make sure that we are outputting to the right folder. So copy and paste our path to our folder into this option. And I like to click browse just to make sure that it's actually navigating to the proper folder. In regards to options, the checkbox is usually checked here for as before override. I typically like to make sure that my folder is empty, so I never actually bump into that kind of sort of as before override, but it just stays checked. Under your advanced options, you have only two tabs that you need to look at, and one is the resize to make sure it resizes the images to a 1024 width and a 1024 height. And then also the canvas needs to be 1024 width and 1024 height. Again, we're only changing the size, resizing the actual image and the actual canvas. Once those are selected, say OK. And then also you want to drag or click the very top image, hold down Shift so that you select all the images and just say add, click this add button. Once you've added those buttons to the input list, all you have to do is click convert. And you see that it's actually compressing the images for us, and you can see the new size is about 10%, 9% smaller. So I'm going to go back over to our folder, and you can see that we are actually having our images copied as we look. So if I go back, Alt-Tab back over, you can see that it's actually completed this, and we're done. And so that is actually in the end of the processing. So if we right-click, come down to details, and we change our add an option for dimensions, we can verify that all of our new images have the proper dimension size. Okay, so once we're finished with processing these images, we just need to prepare these images to be uploaded so that they can go back to the data processing. Everything is ready now. So what we need to do is we'll go back to our root folder. We'll create a folder that says project completed. And I'm going to put the date on here because it helps us keep things organized. And we just need to copy this inside that folder, copy here. And we only need to copy our images that we compressed. So just the 1024, I'm going to Control-C and go back to the project completed folder and Control-V. You can see I've pasted just our compressed images that we've renamed and resized inside here. Once we've done this, all we have to do is right-click, come to Send To, and compress it. I'm going to zip it up. Once it's zipped, all you do is just upload that to your Google Drive folder and send me an email that says this project is complete and ready for handoff.